Hey, hey, good morning. Hi, bestie. I don't like slimlines because they're hard to lay out. They just don't work for me. I don't know how else to say it. So, we're drinking lots of coffee in this huge Stitch mug. And we're going to make it happen. I am such a symmetrical person that slimlines are very difficult for me to lay out. So, here we are. We're going to do it. We're going to eat that frog because Sandy needs more slimlines for our displays. So, are you guys ready to rock and roll? I don't need those yet. I am going to use Hope It Doesn't Suck. And the reason I'm doing that is because we still have several in stock. And I wanted to let you guys know that after these ones sell out, I don't think we're doing any more of this stamp set. We have had it since like 2021 or 2020 even. I can't even remember. But I mean, look at how old it has, like the old logo. This is like 3 logos ago. So, this is my original one, by the way. Yours would have the new logo on it. But anyways, no colored packaging. I mean, obviously we've had this for a while, so it's an awesome stamp set. We keep bringing it back, but I think we're finally at the point where we got to make room for new stuff. So I wanted to use this and inspire you guys to use this and know that there's a few left in stock, and then she's going to be retired. So it's called Hope It Doesn't Suck. She has some really snarky sentiments, which I think are amazing. And today, I have my die. And hey, Krista. And I have her stamped on Kraft paper because it's like my favorite way to craft. My favorite way to color. I have my 2 pen holders, Copic holders. I'm going to start with my teal one. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so y'all can see and so I know where to line her up at. Sorry, my camera gets all jiggly when I do that. Okay. And here we go. So the paper I have chosen to use for this slimline, and I'll give you guys kind of a little hint here, is kind of burgundies and pinks. And so that's where I'm going to go with all of this. It is from a Tim Holtz paper pack, actually. And I'll show you. It's one of these. This is called Paper Stash. Abandoned. I don't know. But they're 8x8s. Super cool, weird, like just kind of textury backgrounds. So that is the paper pack I used. And I'm going to start by coloring skin. So since this is on Kraft paper, I'm going to go a little bit darker than what I normally would. So I'm going to go E27. I'm going to go E57. I'm going to go E23. I'm going to go E13. And I'm going to finish it off with E21. But I am going to start by wetting the paper with E00. I'm going to warm up by starting with her feet and legs. And I have just stamped, this is Sweet Sentiment Kraft paper, and I have literally just stamped her with Memento Tuxedo Black. But I thought since I was using that Tim Holtz paper and everything was like a little bit on the grunge and artsy side, that I would color her on the Kraft paper to give it kind of a cool, distressed feel. Nobody is saying a word. That always makes me so nervous. But that's okay. I'll just sit here and talk to myself. Talk you through some coloring. So with this E27, it's a pretty dark brown. I'm going to add in my shadows. Notice I'm always using very little brush strokes because in nature there's very few things that are perfect lines. And so when you're trying to blend colors and all of that fun stuff, the brush strokes make it so much easier to blend those colors together when you're layering them than straight lines. Straight lines are very hard to break up. You did. One, just one. Sandy, I was driving yesterday home from one of the doctor's appointments I had taken my mom to, and if I would have had my phone in my hand, I would have recorded it for you. But M&M's Without Me came on, and it was like, 2 Trailer Park Girls go round the outside, and I was going to try to record it and send it to you. Just kids, you know, that's what besties do. I love, love, love the attitude of this girl. It's no wonder that we have sold so many of this stamp set. And you do not want to miss out on it. If you don't have it, you need it. It is such a cool stamp to use for so many different things. You can put so many sentiments with her, and they just all make sense. So, it is a great stamp set to have in your arsenal. It is one that is definitely versatile. I'm on my third color, so this is what is considered the true color of her skin. And so with that being said, I'm going to use a considerable amount more of it so that your eye reads this as the true color. And all that means is that it is the color without any highlight or any shadow. It's the actual color of her skin. But obviously you see in the middle part of this, I've left a lot of room for highlight. And we've just gone through all the dark parts for the shadows. This is E13. You can see I'm going over most of the highlight. I'm going to leave just a little spot. And then this is that E21. Hold on just a second, I'm going to jump up because my 3D printer is malfunctioning. There we go. For some reason, the filament spool got crossed, and so it makes it malfunction. Okay, so now I'm going to do her hand. Oops, that's not my cap. And again with the shadow, this is that E27. Now, with her hand, I'm gonna try to go just a slight bit more realistic. So I'm gonna stop with the dark colors. Her arm, I'm gonna go ahead and put the dark colors. This is the E23. E13. E21. Okay. Now with this, I'm going to grab my E11. And then that E00. And then that looks really flat to me, so I'm going to come in with my E13. And then Archie. I'm going to take that E00 again. There we go. Perfect. Okay. We're going to go to her other hand now. This is the E21. Now we're going to go with the E27. Now I'm going to add where her knuckles are. I'm going to add where her wrist is. And then of course the shadow from her sleeve. I keep on trying to grab my magnet as the cap to my marker. E57. Do you do that? When you break these images down into little pieces like this, it just makes it so much more attainable. You feel a lot less intimidated by the image, and piece by piece it tends to go a little bit faster. There we go. Yikes. So now we're going to color her face. I usually start by outlining the eyes, so I remember not to color up into her eyeballs. Doesn't always work. Sometimes I still do, but hey, at least I tried. And then I'm going to go ahead and color her neck and shoulders at the same time. Okay. So again, we're adding shadow where we think the shadow would be. I know that the way her fist is sitting on her hand, there would definitely be shadow here. I know that the way her face is wrinkled up here, she's pushing that skin up, so that would create a shadow. I know that her hair is going to block the light from above, so that's going to create a shadow. These are all cast shadows. I know that her eye, around her eye is going to be a shadow, so that's a form shadow. I know that her nose is going to leave a shadow on her face, so that's a cast shadow. I'm shaping her nose up, which is a form shadow. I'm going to put some shadow here under her chin. Under her lip. I'm going to put some shadow on her neck. Where her hand is blocking the light, where her head is blocking the light. A little bit down here where her shirt is. There we go. And back to my 5-7. Now instead of pulling the shadow out towards the highlight, I tend to, at this point, push that shadow back towards itself. I do rotate my paper a lot. Well, hi, Holly. How are ya? I rotate my paper a lot so that my wrist is always comfortable. If I see anything that needs a little bit more blending, come in and blend that down. Hey, Tiffany. How are ya? I just saw a picture of you this morning on Instagram, and dang, girl, you're so freaking pretty. Holy crikeys. You're just wearing your beanie cap, or Scully, or whatever you call it. I don't know, different parts of the world call it different things. Okay, so again, this is the true color of her skin, so I'm going to use a little bit more of this marker to really drive home that this is the color. Hey Cheryl, how are you? It's so nice to have you guys join me. Okay, so once I get that color in, I try to get rid of some of the harsh angles. I like to make this her bottom lip. Some people color it as skin. You can do whatever you want, but I plan on putting like burgundy or reddish lipstick on her to match the rest of the card. So that's why I did that. Oh, Tiffany, we watched that episode of the show that you were on. Even Sandy watched, even though she does not do cooking shows. It was fun. I was like, we were screaming at the TV when the cupcakes dropped. I know, your mom is the cutest, right? Yeah, we were all like, no! But good job for thinking on your feet. Oh, isn't she pretty? I know, right? to remove your chocolate on the whole chocolate challenge was pretty messed up, man. It was not cool. It was not cool, man. Okay. So now that we have this, do I want to do jeans? Do I want to do leggings? Do I want to do... I mean, I know her shirt is going to match these. So I'm going to start with her lipstick. That's what I'm going to do. Almost impossible, but not totally impossible. PJs? Are you manifesting here? You want her in PJs because you're still in PJs? I wish. Sandy. Impossible for me, even with the chocolate. I want something a little more on the pink side. There we go. Okay. So you're saying PJs, so I'm gonna give her like a burgundy shirt and black pajama pants because this whole thing is kind of grungy and dark and all that stuff. So I'm actually gonna start with my BV29. Don't look at the cap, Sandy. Shh. I have not gotten to clean my markers in so long, but I just have too much stuff to do. I need to just start with a color family and then go from there, because obviously I'm not going to have enough time to do them all in a day like I like to do. Yes, she did. She even woke up early this morning. It was freaking me out. I got up and she was already online. I was like, what is going on? Who has my bestie's phone? Okay. We're going with like gray. I was gonna do black, but I'm kind of digging the like purpley gray right now. You guys, if you have not colored on this craft paper, you gotta try it. I know we keep saying it, but I mean, you really gotta try it. It is so cool. And it's such a different coloring experience. I will tell you, there is a learning curve. I mean, full disclosure. But it really is neat. You need a nap. All right. Color number 3 in the books. There we go. Now we're going to BV20. All right. I like it. I'm going to use my colorless blender to add a small highlight right in the center, right on top of her thigh, right in the center, right on top there. And again, with the colorless blender, a little will go a long way, so be careful. Okay. So now we're going to do this like burgundy color for her shirt. I'm going to start with R89. I'm going to go to RV66. Actually, I lied. I'm going to go R59, then RV66, then RV55. And then I want to do something a little more like R32. So again, I'm going to start by adding shadows. I always hold closer to the nib when I'm doing the shadows because I need more control of my brush. I'm going to add a shadow here where her sleeve is folded. There's a little bit of an indentation here, so I'm going to add a shadow there. Add a shadow here, all the way down under the bottom. Just a little bit of an indentation here. Yes, I like to add extra details to the clothing, so that's why I kind of go in and really map things out. I just feel like it makes them look more realistic. So I sort of follow those artist drawn lines. I'm going to turn her this way. I'm going to do the same thing. An indentation here. Okay. I'm going to go into her armpit, where her sleeve would leave a shadow, where her arm would leave a shadow. This indicates a shadow. There's kind of a buckle here, so that indicates a shadow. Back here by her arm, where the sleeve comes away from the sweater. And then where it meets her knee. There we go. Man, y'all are awfully quiet out there. Everybody needs some coffee. Gotta wake up. Tiffany's probably making herself some gourmet coffee right now, of course. Because that's how she rolls. She's my bougie friend. I'm guzzling down my iced tea. Yes, you are an iced tea drinker for sure, Holly. So everywhere that I placed a shadow before, I'm just kind of coming in and elongating it a little bit, adding a little bit more to it, working out towards those highlights. You just left Starbucks. Okay, so you weren't making yourself a gourmet coffee, but you were having somebody else make it for you. I need to live vicariously through you, so what did you get at Starbucks? Okay, so this is my first RV color, so it's definitely gonna bring this more into the realm of like a plum. So I'm gonna be sure and overwash some of those previous colors. Again, this is the third color in my color blend. So this is the true color of her sweatshirt, or sweater, or whatever you see this as. So I'm going to use more of this color. Ice shaken espresso. Yum, yum. Okay. There we go. Ooh. Good, good. Do you have Sketch and Chow, Tiffany? Is that your New Year's resolution? Gonna complete my Copic collection. That's my New Year's resolution. It's a darn good resolution to have. Not gonna lie. Good. I mean, it's better your friends get you hooked on Copics than, like, drugs. So, you know. We're happy to be a bad influence. Okay. Sketch only. Good. Good girl. Just say no to Copic. Dare. Dare to say no to Copic. Cheryl, do you have the whole set too? Are you a full set Copic girl? I mean, y'all know that Sandy and I have the full set. Perfect. Okay, so now I have her shirt. So now I'm gonna do her eyes really fast because I'm being really indecisive about her hair. So I'm gonna start with the green. I'm gonna come in with brown. You need some of the teas. I'm gonna add a touch of yellow. And And that's all you're missing, Cheryl? Is some teas? Good job. And then I'm going to come back to green. Okay. Gonna grab my favorite. Oh man, y'all, my husband's out there making coffee without me. I'm gonna put highlight on her lips. Perfect. Here refills now. Yeah. Refills definitely become a little bit cumbersome after a bit. Okay, hair. Time for hair. I don't necessarily know 100% what I'm going to do for hair. So I think that I'm going to leave out my R89 and my R59. I'm going to reuse my BV29. Then I'm going to come in with a couple of W's. I think I'm going to use W7 and W5. Aw, thanks, Cheryl. So this is where we're going with the hair, okay? Trust me. All right. So you guys know I love doing hair. And this type of hair where there's so much open space just makes me like giddy because there's so many things you can do with it. So I feel like the sun is coming like from this direction, basically where the camera is. And I'm going to start creating shadow around her hair. So I'm going to do this in kind of like a cross between ringlets and dreads because it's so much fun for me to do. Because for no other reason than I absolutely love it. So I'm just going to start pulling pieces out to make these little like ringlets wherever. Yes, thank you, Holly. I try that. So wherever there's little indentations in her hair, that's where I'm going to pull these out and make little ringlets. So you can make this as complicated or as simple as you want. You know me, I kind of like to go towards the complicated side of things. But it's just so fun. I'm curling my brush strokes around so that it makes these read as round. Lots of practice, Holly. Lots of practice. Okay. And then I turn the right side up so I can kind of see where I'm going, see if there's anything that needs to be shadowed from this side. I feel like this one needs to be its own. There we go. Okay. Then I'm going to come in and do this one. And then as you start like really getting these in here, you can kind of just go with the flow and see where it takes you. There we go. All right, now this side. Actually, I'm going to add a little bit of shadow to this one because it's underneath all of these other ones. There we go. I like that better. Same with this one. It's kind of why I pull back and look at it. I mean, you can see the difference. Okay. So now we're going to go to this side. I like to color this part in underneath her arm because I don't want to cut that out. So full disclosure. Okay, and then this one, I'm going to come this direction just because I want to show texture. And then I'm going to start off by making this one big ringlet, but to me that looks too big, so I'm actually going to cut it in half. See how much better that looks as 2 instead of 1? I don't know how you do it, but this lady is so lifelike. You're magical with this marker. They're magic markers. Okay, so then there's this piece right here. So I'm going to start here by her ear, and I'm going to bring that down. Again, I'm going to go from this direction behind her ear. And I'm okay with the size of that one, so I'm going to leave it just like it is. This one right here, I'm going to connect. So I'm just going to start kind of in an arbitrary place. And then again, pull these. So there we go. Then that leaves like this big spot here, so I'm going to kind of create my own ringlet that's going to come down here to connect these two. Okay. Now I'm going to start this one right here. Am I still on the screen? Haha. This one right here. I'm going to have it connect all the way up here. And again, you guys, this is just breaking this down in pieces. You notice I'm taking piece by piece, oops, and creating these little ringlets or dreads or whatever you see them as. And I'm not worrying about the overall picture. I'm just creating little pieces, piece by piece. Okay? So you can do this. So I next see this little piece, so I'm going to bring that down from this one. And I'm going to kind of fill in here a little bit. Okay? Which means I can bring this down. Just like that. So then that creates this one right here all by itself. It's kind of like a puzzle, you know, piece by piece by piece, it all starts to work out. Once you fill in one piece, you see where the other piece goes. Okay? So now we're down to this, and I see this little ringlet right here, so I'm gonna just come in from where this one was. And we're gonna fill that in. Okay? Again, puzzle pieces. Piece by piece by piece. Actually, my chair is too high, so I'm gonna come down a little bit. There we go. Okay, then the next piece I see is this piece is totally sticking out at me. So I'm just gonna come in from the back of her head. We're gonna put some curls here. And that's how I get started here. Okay, which then creates this one. Take it down to there. I'm not going to put too much shadow on the top of this one because I feel like it sticks out higher than the other ones. Okay, that creates this little spot here. Which in turn makes this one. And then this one. This one. And then this one underneath all of it. Now there you go. Pretty cool, huh? Okay. Oops. Okay, so then I'm going to go to my R89. And again, where I looked at with the shadow is I'm going to come up with shadow. So I'm essentially going to come from one side of all of these. Do you hear me get all quiet because I'm concentrating? This one is tucked in underneath, so I'm going to do both sides of that one. And then this one up here on top. Okay, now this part where her part is, I'm going to make slightly darker, so I'm just going to add more. Must be some sort of delivery. Okay, so then when I'm doing this, again, I'm going to look at light source. And again, if the light's coming towards her face, then this side of this one is where the dark is going to be. Same with this. And those two aren't going to have a ton of dark because they're right up front. Okay, this one's going to have dark up here. This one's going to have dark pretty much all throughout because it's hidden underneath. Okay, and then again, going towards the outside. Now this one, I feel like the light is going to switch on me. So it's going to come from here, but then it's going to come from here. So we're going to add just a couple. We're going to make it darker where they connect to her head. Okay, and then same with this one, the light's going to be here instead. Okay, well hi Linda. Okay, so now I'm going to switch to my 5-9. And we're going to essentially do the same thing. But now I'm probably going to come from both directions because I want these to look round. So I need a little shadow on both sides of them. Plus I want her hair to read like it has a bunch of red in it. So that's why I'm going to use a little bit more of this marker. This is the true color technically, but I'm going to tone it down a lot with these subsequent colors that I have. Thanks, Cheryl. That's such a compliment. I appreciate it. I love coloring hair and pleats. Like, that's just my jam. It's what makes me happy. And I think it's because I have to focus so much on what I'm doing. There's not a lot of room to think about anything else. I also love doing puzzles. And I think that that's part of it, is because it is such a puzzle for my brain to figure out what it is I need to color, that it's just cathartic for me. Hey, my favorite Linda. All right. So now for W7. Now this is going to tone this red down quite a bit. It's going to look a little bit more burgundy when we're done here. I'm still leaving some highlight in the middle of most of these. Okay, so who knows? Are these sister locks? Are these goddess locks? Are these, I don't know. I don't know the right terminology. Tiffany, maybe you do? You do fun stuff with your hair like this, so I need to know the real deal. I need to know my right terminology here. Is this just a, well, this isn't an afro, but I'm sure this isn't her real hair. Could be, though. I had a friend that sent her daughter usually wore all different kinds of hair and decided to go to school with her natural hair, and it was really big. See, I don't know the different styles. I have no idea. Obviously, because I named 17 different styles. But she just wanted to go to school with her natural hair, and her hair was about this long, and she, like, brushed it all out, so it was, like, this big, huge afro, and she, like, rocked it. And she came home from school totally crying because all the kids made fun of her because they hadn't seen her natural hair. And she was in junior high, and junior high kids are super mean anyways. And so she posted her picture on Facebook and was like, you know, what do you think? And I was like, dude, she has super cool hair. I want to color it. I love it. Tell her to rock her hair. Kids are jerks. And so, because of the crafty community building up her daughter so much, she was able to go back to school with her natural hair. And, because, like, she told her mom, she was like, nope, we're going to get my hair done. But she didn't. She decided to go back to school with her natural hair. And I was like, that's so adorable. They just look like curls to you. Okay, cool. We're going with that. They're ringlets. This girl did some ringlets in her hair. She used major hair product. And I thought that it was the cutest thing that the crafty community was able to build her up enough that she felt confident enough to wear her natural hair to school again. So, it was a cute little story. Okay, so this is the last color, so I'm coloring in all of the highlights. Oh my gosh, it's so cool, you guys. How fun is that? Next time I see you, Tiffany, you'll have to explain to me the difference in all the styles, because I want to be able to color all the styles of, like, all the cool extensions. Because, like, the only extensions I can do is, like, white, like, blonde, you know, like that platinum-y kind of blonde. And, sometimes some soft ringlets. But other than that, it's just super straight hair. Oh want to color all the cool things. All right, look at her, you guys. Boom. I'm so excited. Okay. I don't have... Your hair looks like that after a wash? After a good washing? Do you put a bunch of product in it so it stays like that? Yay! Thanks, Cheryl. Oops. Super fun. I love it. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to die cut her. And yes, our die cuts are very close. They're all 1/8 of an inch. So if you happen to have the die cuts for this, know that they are super duper close. So, well, the die cuts for all of our stuff is super duper close. So I'm going to go to my machine. Okay, now, y'all know that I have some serious die cutting pet peeves, right? So, some of this stuff is going to have to get fixed. Okay, that's better. That's better. That's better. And then this part, I can't even... So when you're cutting with this straight blade, it's not about pressure. Again, it's about layers. So just scratch the surface of your paper to make a channel. And then continue to scratch until you get all the way through to the glass. If you try to scratch really hard, you will rip the paper, no matter how sharp your blade is. And so you're essentially going to take off layer by layer by layer. I know, y'all, I'm absolutely insane. You don't have to do this part. There we go. All right. I can live with that now. I do not know if you have the die cut for her or not. I do not know, my friend. Okay. And now that I'm making my card, my chair is too low, so I have to sit up. Ah, there we go. Okay. So I promised Sandy I would make a... Oops, sorry, I hit the camera. Slimline. Because we need slimlines for displays. And we don't have a lot of them. So a slimline is simply 8.5 by 7. And when you fold that, it becomes 3.5. So it's 8.5 by 3.5. And I obviously did not do a super good job cutting this, but that's okay. There. Perfect. Okay. So then I have cut a black matting and then a piece of this, like I said, Tim Holtz paper. And we're going to mat those just like that. And then we're going to start decorating our card. Y'all ready? I even have a new glue bear. I put this one really far down in there, so it's take me a second to get it out. There we go. I have my glue holder. And with that Barely Art glue, I have just a second to kind of play so I can line this up. And then I use my espresso. Same thing with this. Now, remember how I said I don't like raw paper edges? Well, this paper edge feels like it's distressed to me, so I don't have to add any distress ink to it. Uh-oh, my 3D printer's struggling again. There we go. I don't know how I got the filament crossed, but I did, somehow. Okay, so before I get too much bulk or anything on this card, I'm going to go ahead and stamp it. And I'm going to go ahead and sign it. Okay. Now, I have this die cut. I think it's from like Elizabeth Crafts or something. I'm going to put that there. This is one of the sentiments from the set. I have the Glitz and Glam enamel dots because I thought they went kind of perfectly. And I have this cute little paper clip. And then, of course, a big old bow. And then my cool girl. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of overlap all of these. But first, before I do that, I have picked raspberry. And then I want something a little bit darker as well. So let me find something that's slightly darker. I think I'm going to use Seedless Preserves because I think mixing those two together will probably come out with a nice burgundy-ish color. Might need something a little bit more red, but we'll see. No, this is what I want. This will work just great. All right. Oh, and I'm going to do the same thing to this. And then I'm gonna wipe that up. Oops. Don't mind me. Okay, so I'm gonna start with gluing this down. I think I'm gonna glue it kind of askew. I'm gonna put this here. I'm gonna sort of overlap all of it. Okay, and then again, because this has so many edges, I'm gonna flip this over to use my espresso. Okay, now with her, I think I'm gonna use some Sweet Pops. And I have a couple like of these super small ones because I'm feeling too lazy to cut right now. Everybody, are you still with me? Do you guys have weekend plans? I know it's only Friday, but... Okay, put that one back. I'm going to use one more of these right here. Oops. There we go. Grab my tweezers. Yeah, the globe die cut's super cool. I love it. I think it's Elizabeth Kraft. I'm not 100% sure. I should have clipped this on before I glued that down. There we go. Ooh, I almost dropped that right on top of her. Okay. So now These are called Glitz and Glam. They are in the shop. And I'm going to pull some of the dark ones and some of the pink ones, both. These are sticky. Which I guess is good. I guess that's what you want. But do you love that bow? Thanks. So you know me, I like to do things in odd numbers. And so that's 6 dots. That's never going to work for me. So I'm going to put 3 more. Okay, and then I'm going to use my espresso to push them down, make sure they've adhered. Put those back. Okay, then I like to use my hot glue gun. Put a little bit of glue on the back of that. Now you can use your Barely Art glue, you just have to be more patient and let it sit. And so now these tails on my bow are a little bit too long. Not going to work out. This dang piece of hot glue is stuck to my finger because it covers the sentiment too much. So I'm just going to cut them like this. Which means I'm going to cut this one like this. Apparently I did not choose the right scissors for this. And now it doesn't cover the sentiment anymore. All right. And there we go, you guys. A fun card from start to finish. Super duper cool. It's a slimline like Sandy wants. And I'm proud of myself because I don't normally do slimlines. So there you go. Thank you guys for joining me. I really appreciate you. This was a fun one for me to make. I love coloring on Kraft. I love the kind of mixed media-ish grungy feel. And I love my paper clip. So, thanks Cheryl. Thanks Tiffany. I appreciate you guys. So I'll post a picture of this later. This video will be posted over on the YouTube. If you could give us a like and a follow and all that good stuff, we sure would appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you for joining me. And I will see you tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. right here with more coffee and crafting. So have a great day, you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Toodles!